Welcome to Supers Live. It's a Supermodified Ultimate Pavement Racing Series, and it's time for our most prestigious and most important race of the season. The 15th Annual Dion Parish Memorial from Kalamazoo Speedway, coming at you tonight with some R-Factor Supermodified Sim Racing, and it is one close, fast field here this evening at Kalamazoo Speedway. Before we go into who's here and how fast they are, let's bring you up to speed on what happened last week in the Supermodified Ultimate Pavement Racing Series Goldcrest Championship. There was a doubleheader at Bristol Motor Speedway, the Wingside Up Twin 25s, and the drivers that won, one of them wasn't too surprising, but the other one sure was. Picking up his first ever Supers win from Liverpool, New York, it was Brad Keyser. Keyser in the Southern Hills Storm football number 3 picked up the win. And it was pretty important for him to do that. His grandfather, Mark Letcher, a former Supermodified racer, was in attendance watching. So that was pretty cool. Picking up the win in the second one, Rob Warren. That's not a big surprise. He has now tied the all-time win list or win record for that race. And Warren is tied now with 5 wins with John Davidson in the Wingside Up 2025. So that happened last week, and his win, Warren's win that is, gave him the new points lead for the Supermodified Ultimate Pavement Racing Series. And looking at the shakeup a little bit, as Keith Powell has led all season long, but now it's Warren in the lead. 1,275 points, 36 points back sits Powell. Both of those drivers are here tonight as former winners of this race. The other change in points, Carl Becker moving into the top 5 after Steve Callahan unable to make the race. So I want to give a shout out to Carl Becker, sitting at home. This is a race that he dearly would love to be able to race, as he's a Michigan native and was friends with the race's namesake, Dion Parish. Carl, get well soon. We're thinking about you. And also a fellow member, Dave Brigandi, who underwent knee surgery and recovering at home, unable to race tonight as well. Well, I'll give you a little history on this particular race. As we said, it's our most important race and one that Supers drivers all want to win. And it's because it's the Dion Parish Memorial. Dion Parish was a Supermodified racer that lost his life at Kalamazoo Speedway in 2002. But he was so much more than that. He was a fine gentleman and always exemplified the never give up attitude that we all want to have. And it's always a constant reminder to the Supers racers when we race this race, why Supers exists, and that's to help injured Supermodified racers in their times of need. And that's through the Dion Parish Memorial Benevolent Fund for Supermodifieds. And if you'd like to know more about that, you need to go to supers.net, click the About tab, and you can learn about what we do, or click the Donate tab, and that'll tell you a little bit more about what we do as well. But it's important to note tonight that this particular race is one that has only been won multiple times by a couple of drivers. And when you look at how tough it's been to accomplish that, whether it was in NASCAR heat or in R-Factor here for the last 3 years, the guy that's the odds-on favorite here tonight is your current point leader and current Supers champion, Rob Warren, 2-time winner of this event. And but we also have Steve Callahan in attendance. He's your 2011 winner, and Keith Powell, your 2010 winner. Nobody has more wins in this race than Ray Sand Jr. He's got 3. Well, folks, we want to read a little something that unfortunately neither one of Dion's daughters were able to be with us here tonight, but his youngest daughter, Lindsay, sent us a note. And she wanted this to be read. So it says, I want you all to know that what you do here, racing online in memory of my dad, means the world to me and Mindy and our family. You know, my dad, he just never gave up. It wasn't about winning or losing. It was about enjoying life and treating people with respect. To Dad, it was more important to have a good time and understanding that sometimes you win and sometimes you lose, but you should never give up. He always tried to teach me and Mindy that, and it's hard. It's very hard. We miss him every day, but we always remember to keep trying hard. As hard as it is, we feel very fortunate to know that you guys are keeping his memory alive. Again, Dion Parish was a super modified racer from Michigan that lost his life in a testing accident in September of 2002 at Kalamazoo Speedway. And that's why Super started and administers a benevolent fund for injured super modified drivers in his memory. Well, folks, it's time now to take a moment as we've talked about Dion Parish, but also that we remember a fine president. Regardless of your politics, when a president in this country dies, it's something that we should all take a moment to pause on and think about and reflect upon our freedoms. And because of that, and because that president, George H.W. Bush, was a veteran of the United States Armed Forces, a Navy pilot, and because our namesake of tonight's race is also a veteran, we now would like you all to take a moment to pause and remember George H.W. Bush, former president, and Dion Parish with a moment of silence.